Today we have a very interesting guest in the studio, and we're talking jazz music. For those of you who are music lovers, this industry has been in existence for decades on end. In fact, I think before even the world was formed, there was music. And so we've tried to get on perspectives of what music is from different genres and different cultures around the world in different places. And today we have Audun Aschim. I got it right? Great. So, just by way of introduction, he's a rising Scandinavian music star, making waves on the international stage, a gifted composer. I've listened to him so I can speak for myself as well. A guitarist, a Norwegian artist. He has emerged as one of the finest new stars from the innovative Norwegian Jazz scenes, which has been redefining the genre since the 1970s. Known for his atmospheric and cinematic soundscapes, Aschim draws from a wide range of influences to craft his distinctive voice through innovative musical narratives and expressive compositions. His focus on atmospheric dramaturgy and storytelling has led to numerous commissioned works and collaborations with renowned ensembles and prestigious festivals across Norway, Europe, and Africa. During his trip to Abuja recently, I'm sure, well, he had a great, with his band, he had a great time with, your band is called Cripple Wolf. Cripple Wolf. How did you come with that name? I'm going to come back to that. Hold that thought. Cripple Wolf. The Sun Nigeria hailed their performance as a modern-day masterpiece, while the Guardian Nigeria praised them as a provocative and progressive movement. And personally, maybe I should add to this description as well, I think you're daring. So provocative, progressive, and daring, because why Africa?
Why not?
Right.
Why not? Huh?
Right.
It's a good question. I talked with a lot of people from different embassies, because during the reception we had on Thursday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Then it was a lot of culture workers, ambassadors from different countries. And I asked them, how many of your artists come to Nigeria or Abuja or Lagos? And even the British embassy said almost zero.
Wow.
I've been thinking about that, because Nigerian music is so prominent worldwide and dominates the African music scene internationally. And it has such a big reach. There's a lot of people here. It's a lot of potential for audience. People are hungry to create, and it's on the forefront in not only the music industry, but I would also say in the forefront of innovative music. So Nigeria is the future for me, I think. So there's many reasons to come to Nigeria. I think that for me, Nigeria, especially Nigeria, has a kind of vitality and energy and hunger to create new and innovative music, which I don't find that much in Europe. I mean, that's maybe controversial to say, but it's less institutionalized here, I think, than in Europe, especially in my genre. And there are certain musical colors which I really love here, which I love to interact with. And also there's a big audience here. There's almost no people from Europe coming to Nigeria. According to the embassies I spoke with, there's even the British embassy spoke with one cultural person there, and I asked how many people from Britain come to perform in Lagos or come to perform in Abuja, and almost none. So there's a very interesting special thing going on here, which I think is for the future, and I want to explore that and be a part of that.
I think I would quite. And now I'm trying to relate what you've been described by a couple of media persons as, especially by your presentation of your music and what it becomes after it is made. Africa is very dramatic. Africa is very cultural. Africa is very, we like to tell stories and all of that.
Yeah.
And one of the descriptions that I keep hearing about your music is that you like to tell stories.
Yes.
So you like to put a little drama in it. Let the feel be that I'm experiencing something.
Yes.
So what do you do to bring about that process of the drama, the storytelling in your music?
I try to use every aim in my toolbox I have as an artist. I call it dramaturgy, because dramaturgy, that word capture like a more holistic way of going about storytelling, for example.
Right.
So I like meaning in music, and when I was studying music in the Norwegian Academy of Music, it was a very good school, but nobody talked about meaning in music, and very rarely they spoke about art. They spoke about craftsmanship, spoke about maybe expression, but I lacked like the really meaningful source, the drama, you could say, as well. And so when I work with a new piece of art, sometimes I like to conceptualize it. Like, what does it mean? What's the story here? And how can I convey that meaning through different sounds? And it's not necessarily something that ends up with the listeners or the audience being like, oh yeah, I heard this means this and this means this. But I think that audiences are not stupid, and they can feel when it comes from something.
Connect.
Yeah, they can connect, exactly. Connect is a very good word. And the way of having not only having meaning in music, but the necessity to have meaning in music, I have found a lot in African music. And with the artists I've been working with in Nigeria as well, the music comes from somewhere, and it's dramatic, and it's expressive in a way that if I just get 5% of this expression, expressive-ness in my music,
in your music,
by playing together with Nigerian artists, then that for me will open something.
Yeah, that's a good point for my next question, because every human has like a start point, beginning point. You are not just an expression that came from nowhere. You started off from somewhere, and your roots we can point out to being Norway, Scandinavian jazz music. what influences did you get from,
from my culture,
from your country that has developed you into the musician that you are now and the expression that you have going forward?
Well, to answer that question, I think I have to go back to the beginning, because originally, like most guitarists, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be like a solo guitarist in a band, play on big stages. The drill, like all my favorite rock bands. So my motivation was to have like this big sound, big expressiveness, you can say. And I took a little route with starting with rock, and we have like something called black metal in Norway, which is very known international for being very extreme and hardcore, like really, for some people it's just noise, and but it's like the most expressive raw thing you could have musically from Norway. So I started to play in black metal bands and things like that, and suddenly I became a little interested in jazz, and I jumped from there to jazz, which is sometimes very calm, and in Norway, Norwegian jazz is quite different from America, definitely, but I think also rest of Europe. Often there's no swing beat, often there are more open landscapes, which I think also reflects that Norway is it's a big country, but we're less than 6 million people. So there's big stretches of just beautiful landscapes. You can go on in the evening, you can go on like a touristy place and you're suddenly alone, because it's a lot of space, and that is reflected into the music somehow. So it's more textual based. And from there, I also went into contemporary composition. I was very interested in theater and music drama, avant-garde theater, and also starting to do a lot of film music. So the storytelling aspect comes back a lot. So I'm not very grounded in any of this. For example, I don't identify myself as a jazz musician, even though I tend to perform at jazz festivals and things like that. But I think specifically from my culture, it's the landscape thing, and it's the conformity of Norway. Like it's a very safe country. It's very stable. People, even the most poor people, they usually have like basic of course, there are people living on the streets, but most people have a roof over their head, for example. So I think that conformity made people want to, break the rules, because you don't need to obey. You can be freely to express yourself. So that has added a lot of interesting Scandinavian or Norwegian colors in jazz music, particularly, which I'm a part of.
So when would you say, like, musically, when do you think you got your break, like your both locally and globally? When do you think you got your break, and how did that feel, like your first break?
Well, I think I'm still in the process of developing myself as an artist, because I have been doing so many different things. And my management, when I got the management a couple of years ago, they were like, cared a lot about marketing. How can we like collect all these kind of opposites which you are doing to like together? And it was difficult. So my first big commission work was when I was 23 years old for Oslo Jazz Festival. My mentor, Paolo Vinaccia, who, by the way, said that the longer you are from equator, the less you can groove, and the closer you are to equator, the more you can groove, which I find to be partly true. He got the commission work for a big choir in Norway, and multimedia, and a mix of classical and jazz, and he asked me to do the music and to help him compose this big piece. And I think that was first when I maybe kind of stepped out the just being a student, but I was thrown into a very high level production at a big festival. And since then I have been doing a lot of commission works, especially for like special concerts, which I work with for more months and sometimes years. But now I'm like I'm focusing more on myself as an artist and performer now, not only as a composer. Often I had done collaborations with other artists, and now I'm trying to get my music out as a independent or solo artist, you can say. So yeah. But it started when I was 23, and globally started to be more a couple of years ago. And I think Nigeria, for some reason, has just... I found the audience here, and that only 6 months ago. But things are happening here, so I'm very excited for the future, especially in Nigeria.
Just before we go on break, your music has been described as provocative and progressive. How do you find that mix? Because if by the definitions of the words, provocative, it's supposed to inspire people or provoke people into doing certain things, whether it is good or bad. And then on the other side, it is progressive, which means that if it is progressive, it means that you're inspiring people towards something that is going to help them get a good outturn.
Yeah.
Now, so how do you feel about being described as provocative and progressive? And by the way, there are no words said. So it's by description of what you have made as music that becomes the description. Well,
that particular review, it was actually with text, because last time I was in Nigeria, I was here with the Cripple Wolf, which is together with a fantastic artist and friend of mine, Kate Pendry. And that was a more music drama piece, adaptation of the famous playwright Henrik Ibsen's Little Eyolf. Wow. So we had a very modern interpretation, which Kate rewrote, and it had like elements of everything from like black metal, contemporary music to kind of David Lynch meets Disney type of, like it was, but it had a very concrete message. And what was provocative about it was that she was talking about, or the story is, there's a couple who in the 19th century, and they have a crippled little boy. And when the boy was born, the wife stopped feel desire from her husband because he just cared about the little kid. So she started to hate her child. Which is very controversial, and then the child drowned, and then it's the aftermath of all this. But it's still the anti-maternal instincts as a mother, which I think the Guardian found provocative, you know, because as a mother you should love your child, you know. And the story of this 1970s century story is about the opposite.
I've heard the term postpartum depression for most women. So possibly what?
Yeah, and I think what was progressive was maybe the way we worked with text and music, the way we were able to tell a story with very abstract sounds, and the people felt that it came from the gut, you know. So it's with heart, with dramaturgy, and with some very raw unacademic expressions.
All right. So we're going on a short break, and when we get back, we're going to be discussing his cultural experiences, especially regarding Nigeria.